Hi guys, how are you doing? Hopefully this is working. I don't really know if it is. We'll see. So I'm using a new broadcasting software and I'm broadcasting to multiple channels like YouTube and Periscope and Facebook. And I hope it's all working and I hope I can see your comments, because if I can't see your comments, then I can't see your comments. So hopefully this is all going to work. Hey, Justin, I don't see your comments. I must have done something wrong. So I think I didn't embed or something. Where are my comments? They were there a little bit. You look, oh, good. But I don't see the little comments scrolling, Justin, so I must have done something wrong. I don't know what I did. Anyway, we'll fix that. Right? Because it was showing before and now it's not. So Justin's my coach and he was helping me set this up, and obviously it glitched with the comments, but that's okay. Hi, Katerina. Thank you for hopping on. And I hope I can figure out how all this is working. I may not be able to see the comments, I guess, though, from if I have any from Periscope and YouTube, because they're not feeding. So I don't know what happened there. Anyway, thank you for coming up. Oh, maybe it's coming. Why is it so big? Hold on. Let me see if I can shrink this a little bit so it's not covering my face. There we go. Wait. Things are working. Oh, now what are they doing? There we go. Oh, wait, I think I got to do it. Woo. Hold on, I'm shrinking comments here so I can see what I'm doing. All right, there we go. Right? Is that good? That's almost good. I can see. We'll see. There they are. Woo. Well, I think I have to shrink them a little bit more. Okay. Well, anyway, so we're working out the glitches and it seems to be working. So anyway, thanks for hopping on, everyone, live with me to experience this new experience of this new platform. Oh, yes, I'm a tech genius. It is only to you that my genius is coming forward, because without you, Justin, there would be no genius. Okay, so anyway, those of you who have not joined me live from various platforms, since I'm on Periscope and I'm on YouTube, and if you join me, I will be honored to have you here. I'm Celia. I'm a family empowerment coach, and simply put, I empower you grown-ups, you parents, with techniques and strategies and tips so that you can turn around and empower your kids, and therefore empower your family to reach the goals that you all have put forth to reach as a family. So that's what I'm here to do. And since it is back to school time, I thought I would concentrate on school, because by now, mostly everybody is back in school. There may still be some private schools that are not. Scoot over a bit. Wrong way. Opposite day. Okay, thank you. Is that better? Okay, see, I have to get used to this. All right. Have to find my phone charger. Okay, Katerina, find your phone charger, and I will try to find my brain. Okay, so we're going to talk about 10 ways that you can keep kids safe in school, because this is Baby Safety Month, and we're going to extend that Baby Safety Month to all kids, because after all, they're all our babies, aren't they? So no matter how old they get, my kids are in their 30s, they're still my babies. And so we're going to extend that baby to not just talk about infants, but to talk about everyone. Hi, Krista. How are you? Oh, you got all your babies to sleep? Good. Okay. So we're going to talk about keeping them safe in school. And we're going to do a lot of, talking about safety throughout the month. We'll talk about other things, but safety is going to be primary. And for you replay viewers, I'm super happy that you joined me as well. Please know that you can comment. If you want me to see a comment quickly, tag me in that comment because sometimes I don't see it right away. So please, if you want me to reply to a comment, tag me in it if I don't see it right away. And feel free to redo the comment or message me if I don't get back to you. Okay, so without further ado, and now that this amazing software is working and I see your comments and I'm broadcasting wherever I am, I will go forth and give you the 10 tips that you need to know to keep your kids safe in school. You know, before I start, I want to tell you a little story about my daughter. Actually, it's not technically about my daughter, but it's about my daughter's elementary school before she started elementary school. Now, this is back in the day. Imagine you're back when dinosaurs roamed the earth and the wind is blowing and there are people around who are now old and now they're not so old. That was me. And I'm driving down the road in my Jeep CJ. This is before Wranglers existed. And here is this little 5-year-old girl walking down this very dangerous street. Hi, Samantha. My school district, the one high school, has already had 2 school threats, one of which, oh my gosh, unbelievable already. Gosh, Samantha, I'll pray for you guys. I hope it's all safe. So I'm driving down the street, and here on this busy highway is this little 5-year-old, approximately, walking down the street with her backpack on her back like it's the most normal thing in the world. She's walking down the street. I drive by in my car, and I see her, and I'm thinking how odd that she is doing that. And I'm going to kind of go kind of quick with this story so we don't spend too much time. Hi, Courtney. So she's walking down the street, and I'm driving down the road, and I'm like, something is not right about this. So I turn around, and I pull up to her. Now, this is, believe it or not, before cell phones. Cell phones did not exist. Imagine that. Can you imagine? So no cell phones. So I pull up to her. Oh, yay. So they caught the person. Hey, hey, hey. Whoopee. Good. Good. And 15, a baby himself. So I pull up to this little girl and I get out of the car and I'm talking to her and I'm asking her where she's going. And it's a school day. And she said, I'm going home. And I said, why? And she said, because I couldn't get into school. And I'm thinking, how odd. She couldn't get into school. Anyway, I am trying to think of what to do because I don't want to ruin her stranger concept because I'm a stranger. And what, I'm not going to leave her on this busy highway to be hit by a car or picked up by some crazy person because I knew, although I'm crazy, I am not a crazy person. I'm no threat to her. What am I going to do? I don't have cell phones. There weren't any cell phones. I couldn't call the police. We're in a wooded area. I had to convince her, sadly, to get into my car so that I could either take her back to school or whatever. So I did. And I convinced her by simply saying that I was a mom and I had a little girl like her. She got into the car. Scary, right? Now, so she's in the car in a Jeep with no doors, buckled in. And I had her in the back, and we're driving down the road, and all of a sudden she sees her mom, and I'm heading over to like where the school is, but she sees her mom, and I'm waving her mom down like a crazy person. Her mom sees her kid in my car. Can you imagine? Freaking out, and she pulls over, and I pull over, and I say, you know, and I tell her what happened. I told her I found her on 29, and before I could get her over back to the school, she saw you. And this is what happened. So anyway, the mom takes her. She doesn't really say a whole lot to me because obviously I don't think she knew what to say. And what had happened was she got off the school bus. She was on a county school bus, got off the school bus, and for some reason the teachers did not see her get off. The bus driver didn't either see her or do anything about it. She could not get into the school, so she decided to walk home. She had already walked like 2 miles. The point of this story is you have to make sure your kids are safe in school regardless. Here we have someone who has a shooter in their school. Samantha's school's already been locked down twice. Here's a little girl, 5 years old, in elementary school, gets off the school bus. You feel secure that they're able to walk into school. She can't get in. There's no adult to help her, and she decides to walk home by herself. You have to make sure your kids are safe when they're in school. So I'm going to give you 10 tips to keep your kids safe. Number 1, no secrets. Have a policy in your home of no secrets. Do not ask your child to keep a secret for you. Do not ask your child to lie for you. And what I mean by that is like, oh, just don't tell grandma that I did this, or don't tell daddy that I did this, or don't tell mommy, because that is telling them to keep a secret and it's giving them permission to lie. Do not do that. Because then when somebody else does something possibly harmful to them and says the same thing, you have already given them permission to keep that secret. So you want a no secret policy in your home. Okay. Number 2, teach them their phone number, your phone number, and their address. Let them learn it. There's a lot of fun, different ways you can teach your child their phone number and the address that they need. You can practice. You can practice dialing the phone number. You can get, a cell phone that's not working and have them practice using it. My son starts Head Start this year. Yeah, it's scary. Our elementary school, hi Dana, apparently doesn't call if your kid isn't at school, and they don't expect you to call and tell them if they're out sick. Really? I would complain about that, Dana, because I didn't know that. Because God forbid something like what happened to this child happens. Again, that mother had no idea she wasn't in school when I ran her down with the car practically. I would complain about that, because you should know, God forbid something happens and you think your child's in school. That's crazy. That's crazy policy. So you want your children to know your phone number by heart. Practice it. Kids are all about repetition. Make it a song. Make it a game. They're all about learning things through repetition. So repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Practice. You can make little fun houses and find your house and your neighbor's house. In the case of Dana, who's here, she lives next door to my daughter. You can make a little neighborhood out of blocks and say, who lives here? Who lives here? What's your address? What's our street? Practice, play games so that they learn where they live and your phone number. Vitally important that they know your cell phone number. Okay, number 3. Teach kindness. Let your kid be the kid who is there to greet the new kid and make friends with the new kid in school. And be there when they notice somebody's being bullied. Teach your child to be kind to other people. Teachers, students, bus drivers, be the one that's welcoming and smiles and says hello. Let your child be the friendly child and welcome other students that feel a little weird about being in school. Number 4, this is for you. You need to be there at school. Not all the time, but you need to be a parent that volunteers, that gets to know the staff of the school, helps out in the classroom. Krista says, last year I kept getting calls about a high schooler missing school that obviously gave the school the wrong number to their parents. I called back multiple times and told them, and they said they were going to get it fixed. They never did. So some kid was skipping school or something all the time, and their parents never knew. What can you do about that except continuously complain, Krista? I don't know. You're like, what are these people doing? Sometimes I think the staff at schools are like, I think a lot of times, have you ever noticed the secretaries don't even like kids? I'm like, why do you have this job? Go have a job in a cubicle. You need to care about keeping kids safe. To be a school staff person, you need to want these kids to be safe. And I believe that the majority of school staff, teachers, administrators do care about the kids. But every once in a while, you get this like blockage like that where they don't do its thing. So you have to be proactive and you have to take the action. So make sure that you volunteer at school, you get to know the staff, you get familiar with the teachers and the methodologies of the school so that when something goes wrong, they already know who you are and they feel like, you're on their team. They love to know you're on their team. Tell your child to be helpful, to help out in school, to help the teachers, to help the staff, to volunteer when your teacher says, oh, I can use a little help up there. Have your child contribute and be helpful. What's important is that the school knows you and your kids. Right off the bat, they get to know who you are quickly. They know who your kids are. Your kids are friendly. They meet other teachers and staff people in the school, the cafeteria staff, the janitors, the administrators. When a friendly kid is there, they know people. And people know them. That's what's important. So that if, God forbid, something happens, your child is hurt, your child is missing, they notice that they're not there. And they know you because you've been around the school. They feel comfortable reaching out to you. So be available to the school and help your child understand that they should be the one helping out the school. Okay. So stay in communication with them. This is all part of you. Stay in communication with the bus drivers. So a situation that happened to that little girl doesn't happen to your child. Talk to them about their school policies. If something like that happened, who is responsible? When your child gets off the school bus, what happens from that point? In the county that I lived in then, they said that once the child gets off the school bus driver is no longer responsible, the school is. Well, there was no teacher there, and the school bus left and stranded a 5-year-old. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. The one office lady opens the door for the kids in the morning, and she greets all of them by, isn't that awesome? I'm like blown away when my kids went to elementary school, the principal knew everybody in that school by name. I was like blown away. That is what I mean. And the first kids that they're going to know in the beginning of a school year is the child who's the one that always says hello, who is there, who is greeting people, who is friendly, who is, not real, kind of to themselves. They're going to know those kids who are more, are voicing their opinions, are saying more things, are helping out. Those are the kids they're going to learn first. Okay, so know the school policies. Know their policy on bullying. You want to find that out now so that, God forbid, there's ever an incident. What is going to happen? What do you have to do? Get involved and find out what their policy is on classes, on homework, on tests, on everything. Lunch policies, recess policies. We have to sign a paper saying that if the kids get off the bus at the bus stop, that the driver isn't responsible anymore, whether the parent is there or not. Thankfully, we live in the best neighborhood ever. Exactly. You do. And no kid would ever be left alone. When I pick up the kids, I would stand there, even if I don't know them, because I don't know everyone like you do. Our office lady, too, and if a parent walks in, she knows what kid and what class. That's unbelievable, Krista. Unbelievable. Kudos to her. I hope you give her a big high five. Buy her a present. That is awesome. Yeah, the bus drivers, once they leave the bus, they don't want the responsibility anymore, and I don't feel good about that, especially after the experience that I had before Lauren went to that school. That was before she entered kindergarten. And you best believe when I went back to parent night, whatever it was, I asked exactly what happened when a child gets off the bus. What is the policy? And that I brought up the incident, and they're like, oh yes, she was picked up by a teacher. I'm like, I was the person that picked her up. So I know exactly what happened, and I need to know that my daughter is safe when she comes to this school. So take action, which is number 10. Okay, number 8, teach your child it is okay to say no. Whether they don't feel safe, if they feel threatened in some way or another, teach them they can say no. Communication is great. That's why I love the Class Dojo app. Yes, and that's another thing I'm going to list. I can instant message my kid's teacher and his speech therapist. I can message her anytime, and we get behavior points too, so we know if they are doing good in the day without messaging. Yes, be familiar with the technology, all that technology that they use, and find out which is the best way to reach your teacher. What do they prefer? Do they prefer text messages? Do they prefer the Dojo app? Do they prefer email? What do they prefer? Because you should feel comfortable that, number one, if you have an emergency, you get a response from a teacher. Now, understand that is not going to normally be an immediate response, because please remember that the teachers are teaching. They're doing their job. So hopefully they're not sitting on their phone checking messages. But you should have a same-day message if you need to get a message, because after school they can go through those messages. But make sure you know your teacher's preference, because everyone's different. There are teachers that prefer text messages, emails, the Dojo app. I know when my grandkids lived here and they went to elementary school, they wanted that Dojo app all the time. That's how they wanted to communicate. But be specific. Don't just assume. Ask the teacher directly. When you go back to school night or wherever you're going, ask them, how do you want me to communicate with you? And make sure you're aware of it. Okay. What was I talking? Oh, make sure that your kids know about personal space and where their safety zone is to their person. That people aren't allowed just to touch them and, be on top of them. And, and if they feel unsafe, they can say no, or they can tell an adult. And make sure they know that if they feel like they're being bullied in some way, or they're being made unsafe for whatever reason, they should tell you, they should tell a teacher, they should tell the nearest adult, whatever it is. And if it's an adult, if it's another teacher, be sure you are always the one that they can tell, and they always feel comfortable. Let them know that there is nothing they can tell you that is going to upset you. Don't create an environment where they think, well, gosh, if I tell mom, she is going to be super mad at me, so I'm not going to tell her. Don't do that to your kids, because if you do that to your kids, they won't tell you stuff, because they're always going to be worried that you're going to yell at them or punish them. You want to have open conversation with them whenever they need you. You want to be there. Make sure when you're talking to them, when they get home from school, you're asking specific questions. Don't ask general questions like, how was your day? Because you know what you're going to get? The general answer of fine, or terrible, or is miserable. If you ask a general question, you're going to get a general answer. How was lunch? Good. Did you meet any friends? No. Did you have a good day? Yes. That's going to be your conversation. However, if you get specific and say, did you have art class today? Was that your special, or whatever they call it? Yes. Did you paint? Did you use crayons? Did you use colored pencils? Did you draw a landscape? Did you draw a house? What did you do? Did you have science? Were you having lab work done? What were you doing? Be specific. Are you reading a book in English? What book are you reading? Did you bring it home with you? Can I see it? Can we read it together? Be specific. Specific questions get specific answers. And then you will actually have a conversation. The one that's asking the questions is in control of the conversation. So if you want more conversation to continue, ask more questions, not general, specific. You can always ask my favorite conversation starter and what I feel should be around the dinner table. Ask your children, what did you learn new today? And everybody, including you guys, should talk about something new they learned today and make it a tradition. Every time we sit around the table, we talk about the one new thing we learned today. Maybe you learned how to use a new computer program. Like I just learned how to use this so I can broadcast on 3 different things at one time. Maybe your child learned how to use, a lacrosse stick in gym. Everybody talks about something new they learned that day. It's a great thing to introduce over the dinner table. And number 10, guys, even though we added a few bonus things in there and went a little long. Number 10, parents, please take action when action is needed. Do not rely on someone else to help your child or do something. When my son was in 7th grade and he came home and he told me that his social studies teacher called his entire class losers. I've mentioned this before. If you saw the broadcast, I don't know what I was talking about. Literally called the whole class losers. I freaked. And I called I was on the phone with every administrator, and I was in that office that morning with the principal and with that teacher in their face. Because I'm telling you, I don't label my kids. I don't call my kids names. I certainly don't expect a teacher to call my child a name like loser. I was livid. I was like, you know who the loser is? You're the loser. But I didn't say that because I don't call people names. But anyway, make sure you take action. If there is an issue that's bothering you about school, the place where your child spends a good 8 hours or more a day, speak up. Speak up and keep working on what you believe is right for your child until it's resolved. Don't just give up. Don't just be like, well, they're not going to do anything about it. If you need to go to the Board of Education, take it to the Board of Education. Do what you need to do is right. That wasn't really a good English sentence. My daughter, when she went to middle school, the middle schools got split. This is a long, long story, and I'm going to abbreviate it. But they got split into 2 high schools. She had been through a lot of trauma the year of 8th grade. She had gone to a new school, made all these friends finally, and the schools split. And her friends were going to one school, and she would be going to another one. And it was a very hard year for her, and I'm not going to go into all the details of that. But I went straight to the Board of Education. I was like, how do I get her into this school? I do not want her to go through yet another new school to meet new friends. I wrote letters. I did what I needed to do, and she got transferred into the other school. As I sit and listen, I feel this is all transferable to adults too. Yes, Terry, absolutely. And how are you? Good to have you on. Yes, it is. So much advice that I give you guys for kids is perfectly transferable to adults as well. It all has to do with relationships and building good, quality, secure relationships. And relationships might be between a parent and a child, a teacher and a student, someone at your work, a manager and you and an employee, friends, family. Relationships are built on respect And when you build that respect and that rapport with somebody else, they build a respect and rapport for you. And that respect, guys, as a parent, so many people think that, time out, respect is a given between a parent and a child. It's not, guys. I hate to tell you, there's no reason your child should grow up respecting you if you don't respect them. Respect is earned, no matter what two people it's between. So you give your child respect. You know, let your child know that regardless of what happens in their life, you have their back. My kids, all 5 of my kids, the 2 I gave birth to and the 3 I gained through marriage, all 5 of my kids know that I am there for them regardless of what happens in their life. If they need me and they're all in their 30s, I'm there. To this day, they could call me at 3 in the morning. If I needed to be somewhere to help them, I would get in that car, no matter how far away it was, and I would be there for them. Your kids need to know that too. They need to know that you have their back and that you believe them first. You don't believe what someone else is telling you, even if it's a teacher or administrator in the school. Please take the word of your children first. Because as you dive into the story deeper and deeper, you just might find out that that other adult got the wrong idea. They didn't really see what happens. And you might find out that your child's actually telling you the truth. And believe them. Don't automatically assume that someone else is telling you the truth and that your child is lying. Please trust your child. Let them know that you trust them and you believe them so that when they talk to you, you give them a chance to explain. You don't interrupt. You don't jump to conclusions. You don't assume. You get the whole story and then you move from there. So thank you, Terry. Absolutely. It goes for all relationships. Okay, guys. So we made it through my new technology that I just learned today. Anybody else learn something cool today? How did the kids enjoy school, the new kids that went to school? I know Dana's kids went to school today for the first time because my grandkids went to school for the first day. I hope everybody had a great day at school, whether they went back this week, last week. My grandkids went back like 2 weeks ago, I think, 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago, I don't know. It was early. It was early in August. Anyway, guys, I'm super grateful that you were here with me and you got to experience my new technology that you probably didn't even know I was doing. But I'm glad it went forward without a glitch. It was a short day. It wasn't. Was it a half day I hope Logan had a wonderful time, Dana. I'm sure he did. He's such a brilliant little boy. Okay, guys, so thank you very much for joining me. I will be live Friday night at 9. So now I'm going live Tuesdays at 9 and Fridays at 9 Eastern time. So set your alarms. Friday, we're going to talk about keeping your kids safe at home. My daughter loves school. My son is doing much better. I'm still having some issues. Yay. No full day, just a lot of fun. Oh, good. Good. No full day. Got it. I'm glad, Krista. I'm glad. Well, you know, we'll work through that, Krista. We'll work through that. Absolutely. So, Friday, how to keep 10 tips to keeping your kids safe at home. So, we'll reverse it a little bit. And we're going to, like I said, work on safety this week. Guys, if you're not part of Pumped Up Parenting on Facebook, I invite you to join the Pumped Up Parenting Facebook group. And I have a wonderful VIP group, my very intentional parents. They're actually getting a live broadcast tomorrow morning all about fun ways to teach your kids their phone numbers and your address. So if you'd like to be a part of my VIP group, message me, or I have a special running right now. You can go to pumpedupparenting.com and join our community and sign up today. Guys, it's on super duper discounted pricing. So you get all kinds of great things, group coaching, private videos, all kinds of fun stuff. You are so welcome. Yay! 2 videos. Yay! I'm so proud of you. You are so welcome, Krista. I appreciate you being on. And Dana, I'm glad you're getting through them. And in the meantime, guys, as always, I wish you peace, love, and tons of laughter. Fill your days with all of that. And you will have an amazing family to come home to every day. And your children will love coming home as well. Enjoy school. Keep them safe. Keep them smiling. And I'll see you here Friday at 9 p.m. and around the web. Have an awesome evening, guys. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.